Here are some important words for trigonometry. First of all, a right angle triangle. A triangle has three sides, like these two. A right angle triangle must have a right angle in one corner of 90 degrees. These are two 90-degree angles, so both of these triangles are right angle. Adjacent. Adjacent is the side adjacent to, or next to, which is what adjacent means, next to the angle. Here's the angle I'm interested in. This side is adjacent to it. This long side is also next to it, but because it's the long side, it's the hypotenuse. So this is the adjacent. You'll notice the adjacent always touches the right angle as well as the angle. In this other triangle here, the adjacent is this side because it's next to the angle and it's also next to the right angle. The hypotenuse, which is the next word, is always the longest side. It is never next to the right angle. It's always opposite or away from the right angle. So here's the hypotenuse for this triangle, here's the hypotenuse for this triangle. The opposite is the other side that is opposite the angle, away from it. So for this triangle, that's the opposite, and this side over here is opposite the angle. A ratio is two numbers written like a fraction. So there's a ratio, 2/3. Trigonometric ratios are A over H, which is the cosine ratio, O over H, which is the sine ratio, O over A, which is the tangent ratio. We remember those using SOHCAHTOA. In maths, there are lots of opposite operations. For example, x squared and square root of x are opposites. Square and square root are opposites. Plus and minus are opposites, or inverses of each other. Multiply and divide. For sine, the inverse operation is inverse sine, and we write it like this. On your calculator, you'll be pressing second sine to get to it. For cosine, the inverse is written like this, and for tan, it's written like that. These inverse functions change a ratio back into an angle, whereas sine changes an angle into a ratio. The next words we've got is angle of depression. That's just the angle that you look down on something. So here is, if I was up here and I was looking down like that at something, that angle will be the angle of depression. The angle of elevation is when you look up at something. So if I'm looking up at an angle like that, then that's the angle of elevation.